Hey everybody, welcome to another one of our videos here. I am Paige Libbert. I am one of the Consumer Technology Specialists here at MCPL. And today we are going to talk about organizing your photos with Google Photos. I know the holiday season is kind of fast approaching, and I guess it's technically here. And a lot of times we take a lot of photos during this season. I know 2020 is kind of a unique year, probably not going to have as large a family gatherings as we might have normally, but often we are still going to probably go see some people that we know, or maybe have a quick get together with family. And who doesn't like pictures of adorable Christmas lights, something along those lines. So seemed like a pretty good time to talk about organizing your photos. So today we're going to talk about accessing Google Photos. We're going to talk about organizing your photos, and then we're also going to talk about backup and sync. I can have those out of order on the slide, but there's a couple of different things that you can do to organize, and then backup and sync's just a really cool tool. So what you're going to need, you're going to need a computer or a mobile device. I'll be working off an iPad today, but Google Photos works on iOS devices, also works on Android devices. In many cases, if you have an Android device, Google Photos may already be uploaded, and may be your primary photo storage for your device. I know Samsung has Samsung Photos, but some other devices may just use Google Photos as their primary. It is for mine, but I have a Google Pixel, so kind of makes sense for me. So you will need a computer or mobile device. You will need a Google account and your login information. So Google Photos is a Google run option, so you will need to have a Google account. If you have a Gmail account, you already have a Google account. You just log in with that same information, and you'll need an internet connection. Not always, so as you're taking photos on your devices, if you have Google Photos, it will go there. But if you want to use backup and sync and anything that we're going to talk about today with that, you will need an internet connection. So with that, we're just going to go pop right in. I'm going to go to my home screen. So Google Photos is down here on the bottom. It is the primary color fan, I like to call it. So I'm just going to tap and open that up. And you can see it right away, it just opens up right to my photos. I don't have a lot of very exciting ones on here. These are just ones that I use for classes and demonstration. But so it'll show you all your photos. They are organized by date. So it's whenever you added them or took them, they'll be organized by that date, which is kind of nice because you already then know, okay, hey, December 25th, they're probably all photos of our family Christmas gathering or something like that. Most of these were taken when I was working on a class, so they're all here. Right now, that's how they're organized. So they are organized just by date. If I want to, I can come over here and tap on a photo if I want to look at it. So, very lovely. I can upload it, so down here on the bottom, so I can upload it. I can select several and kind of send them out however I want to. I can edit them, so that button in the middle left, I guess. If I tap on that, give it a second, it'll let me do kind of some Instagram-esque filters, so I can change the background a little bit. I can press that middle button and I can adjust the color, so I can make it lighter. I can change the color to be a little bit more or less. Doesn't show up as well on the black and white. And then this one on the right, I can crop it. So if I do this and move it up and down, I can crop the photo. I can shift it, so I can turn it if I want to make it landscape instead of portrait, or if I want to just have it be at a jaunty angle, I can do that if I would like. Down here in the bottom corner is a reset option. I didn't change anything, so it's not going to let me reset, but I can just tap done. And then up in the top, so on the top left, there's an X, so I can just go out of this editing completely, and it will just revert back. There will be no need. Or I can save it over in the top right. I'm going to go ahead and just do the X, and it asks me, do I want to save my changes and keep editing? I don't want to keep my changes, so I'm just going to discard. In the center right, that is just Google Lens. So Google Lens will actually search for you, so you can take a picture, it will search and kind of come up with related results, which is super handy. I love Google Lens. It's really great. But that is another class. And then on the bottom, right is just the trash icon. If I tap that, I can delete the photo. I'm going to go ahead and keep this one because I think it's hysterical. On the top right over here, we have a couple of different options. You can see there's a little cloud with an arrow. So that means that is there. Pretty much means that this photo is not in the cloud already, so I can upload it to the cloud. So Google itself has a cloud storage service. There's Google Photos, Google Drive. Those are both kind of different cloud storage services that Google has. Google Drive primarily works with documents, but you can put photos and videos and stuff there. And then Google Photos is kind of its own little spot to hold photos and videos. Anybody with a Google account gets 15 gigabytes of cloud storage space. That now includes all the photos, as well as any documents and emails, and all of that stuff kind of goes together. But it does still account for quite a bit of space. I mean, 15 gigabytes is quite a bit of photos. So something to keep in mind there, but that just means that this photo is not already uploaded to the cloud. So if I tap on that button, it will upload that photo to the cloud. So if I go and want to access this photo at any time, anywhere, I can just log into Google Photos on whatever device has an internet connection, and I'll be able to access this photo. Super handy. If the star over here, I can just favorite it, and then I can tap on the menu, and that gives me a few different options, a little 3-dot menu. I can add it to an album, I can move it to an archive, I can delete it from the device, I can save it as a PDF, and it just gives me details about the photo, and also lets me edit the date and time or add a description. So if I know, like, I did not add this photo December 14th at 10:43 a.m., or if I just want to change the photo time for whatever reason, I can just tap on edit date and time, and that'll let me kind of adjust the dates and times to match what I want it to. I can also just add a description, so if I wanted to, I could type in, goofy cat with a shower cap, and that would just save as information for the photo. So I go ahead and pop out of here and go down here in the bottom right to the library. So this is where you're going to most easily find your albums. You can see that I don't have any right now. But this is also where you can go and find, so if you favorite photos or if you move to the archive, this is where you can go to find them. So you can tap on favorites, that'll bring up any photos that you have favorited. I don't have any because I just unfavorited that one. And anything that got moved to the archive, you can go find it here. There's also a trash. So this is not 2 trash photos, this is literally the trash for your account. So it doesn't, when you delete a photo, it does not automatically delete the photo. It'll go into the trash and kind of like a recently deleted, and so if you accidentally delete something, it is not gone for good. Usually you have between 30 and 60 days. It kind of varies depending on, I don't know, sometimes it's the time of the month. Sometimes, but it's at least 30 days. So you'll have several weeks to kind of recover a photo if you accidentally delete something. So I'm going to go over here, and this is also where you can create new albums. So I'm just going to go here where it says new album and the plus button and tap it. So this is a great way to organize your photos, so you kind of get them all into one spot and like under one name. So we can add a title. We'll do Goofy Animals. Spelling does not count when I'm doing this quasi-live. So we'll just do done, and then I can come in here and select photos. So, Goofy Animals, Goofy Animals, Goofy Animal. I don't know. Let's see, we got that one, that one, that one, that one, that one. So you can just see I'm just tapping them as I go. So I can select all the ones I want to tap, or that I want to add. And then just tap add in the top left, or top right. And they are officially in the Goofy Animals album. If I want to add more, I can come up here in the top right. You can see there's like a little rectangle with mountains and a plus, so that is the add. So if I decided, you know what, hey, this lucky cat is an animal, the gorilla and the rubber ducky are animals, and this cat with crazy eyes and this other rubber ducky are all animals, so we'll get those added too. And so they will add those in as well, which is really nice. If I want to, I can tap this the box with the arrow, and that will allow me to invite other people to look at this album. So if I wanted to share it with other people, myself, I can. If I want to share it elsewhere, so I can do share to, And that will let me share it through email, through Facebook, Pinterest, through a website. I can create a link, I can open it somewhere else, all kinds of options. I'm just going to tap away from that. And then you come up here in the very top right, that little 3-dot menu again. This is where you can do a little bit more work. So you can select individual images and kind of choose what you want to do there. You can edit the album. So if I tap on edit the album, you can see it put little X's next to all the photos. So I can actually start to remove photos if I want to. Also gave me an option. Oh, I can't add text. Sometimes you can add text. You can add locations. That's what this little kind of funny little arrow with a dot is. And then I can change the organization so that it's the oldest first, the newest first, and the most recently added, which is kind of awesome. So I go back into my 3-dot menu. I can change the album cover. So right now it usually goes with whatever photo is like at the beginning of the list, but maybe I've decided I want our trumpeting meerkat to be the album cover. So I just tapped on that, and you can see on the bottom it says album cover changed. I can undo that if I want to, but I'm not gonna. And then I can come over here into the options. So I can actually create a link to invite people in, to share this. I can also invite other people with Google accounts, or just other people in general. So if I tapped on invite people, I can use their email addresses, if they're Google users, to just immediately pop that out to them and be like, hey, you can collaborate with me on this awesome album of goofy animals. You can also share it this way. So you can just do a link sharing, and that will let people see the photos in the album and kind of view it. And the very bottom one down here is delete album. So if I've changed my mind, I don't want to have this goofy animals album after all, I can just tap delete item, or delete album. So deleting the album is permanent, this is what it's telling you, but it does not delete the photos. So if you want to delete photos from Google Photos, you have to delete them in a different function. If you delete an album, your photos will be saved. They just kind of go right back into that main kind of stream of photos where they've existed before. So poof, delete album, and see, album is gone. And our photos are still here. You can see all the goofy animals up here at the top. So the photos still exist, and they are not gone. We have those there here to continue to play with. So I'm going to go back to the library. I'm going to go do another one. Do another album. Add my photos. So do toys. I'm going to have all kinds of toys, because I mostly did toys when I was putting this together. Alright, I think that's most of them. Okay. So here we go. Sorry. We've got our toys album. So I'm going to just tap away. And so we're back here in the library screen. You can see the toys album is here. I don't have an album cover for it. So if I tap on that, I can come in here and change the album cover. I'm going to go ahead and give it, we'll do the little karate guy. So you can see that that's now the album cover. When you're in here and you have albums, so it'll always tell you the title and how many items are in it. So you can kind of guess how many photos are going to kind of live inside that album. And if you want to create new albums, you just come in and do another one. If I go back to my photos, which is what I just did, I tapped on photos on the bottom left. And I just long pressed on a photo. So I long pressed on here. It actually says create, but it cut off part of it. And that kind of opens up this selection screen. So I can come in here, now that I've done that, I can tap on all these. Maybe I want to do all the ones with words or signs. So that one's got one. We got that one. I think that's it. So now that I've selected all these photos, you can see in the top left, I have an X. So I can go out of the selection screen. It will deselect everything. It tells me that I've got 9 things selected. And then over here, I've got my button still on the top right. I've got my share button, so I can share it across to Gmail accounts. I can share it across however I need to. I have a plus, which will allow me to add it to something, and I'll do that here in a second. I have delete, or the trash can icon. So if I wanted to get rid of all of these photos, I can. I just do the trash can icon. It will usually tell me, are you sure you want to delete those photos? And then if I do, it will go into that recently deleted, and I can go and restore them if I want to. And then we've got our hamburger menus. So you can favorite all of them in a one big batch, which is kind of nice. You can delete the device originals. So some of these came from a device and some of them came in from Google Photos on my computer. I can move them into an archive, or I can collectively change their date and time. So if I want them to all be set for today instead of whatever date they were actually downloaded, I can do that as well. I am going to press this plus button now. And so you can see it allows me to create an album or a shared album. So shared albums are just albums that you share with other people. Means that they're collaborators, other people can add photos to it. I can create it into kind of a movie or an animation or a photo collage. So Google Photos allows you to create these movies, animations, and collages. They take a little bit more tinkering and playing with, but they do exist and it's fun. And if you are willing to pay a little bit of a fee, you can actually have them created in real life. The collages you can have printed, the animations you can have like sent off and created kind of more professionally. It's pretty cool. But I'm just gonna go ahead and say album. And then it lets me do the sign, like edit the title and add everything else in there. So we'll just do signs. Done. And you can see it's kind of in that edit album mode. So if I wanted to change something in here, like, hey, this search thing is not a sign, I could take that off if I wanted to from here. So that is kind of the quick and dirty. So I'll show you kind of what it looks like to select and delete. I'm gonna pick a photo. We'll do this library one. So you can see I selected, I just long pressed on it, it gave it the check mark. Top left, you can see I only have one selected. So if I hit this little trash can icon, it says it moves it to the trash. So it's moving photos and videos from my Google account into that trash. So I'll do this, move to trash. Do I want to delete the photo? Yes, I'm going to allow Google to delete the photo. And it's asking me that because this photo actually exists on this device. So it's actually pulling it out of Apple Photos as well. But if I come in here to library and then trash, there's my photo. So this one will be permanently deleted after 60 days. So it lets you know. So if I long press on that one, I can tap to select. It selects it. I can also come up here to the top right where it says select. If you have lots of photos in there, it's kind of nice. And on the bottom, you can see I have options. I can delete, which will permanently delete it. If I tap that, that photo is gone, poof. I'll have to go find it again if I want to see it online, but it's no longer going to be on this device. Or I can tap restore, which is what I'm going to do. So tap restore. So I no longer have any items in my trash. If I go back into my photos, my image is there. So it is not gone, it exists, I still have it. So it's super handy and super nice. Saved me many, many times because sometimes I'll go and do like a photo purge and then realize, oh no, I have deleted the most adorable picture of my mom's dog and I have to go back in and save it. So, kind of handy. So the last thing I really, really wanted to point out with this is backup and sync. So I'm going to come up here into my little icons, little planet thing. And you can see backup is off underneath this. So you see the little cloud with the slash in it. It says backup is off. So if I tap on that, it says backup is complete. That's because I actually did this earlier today, but because it is off, I need to turn it back on. So if I tap on settings, you'll see that backup and sync is the option. You can see my little, might be hard to see, but I have my little slider over here is turned off. Backup and sync basically allows your device to take all the photos that are in Google Photos and sync it with the cloud storage version of Google Photos. So just because a photo shows up in Google Photos because it's on your device does not mean it's automatically saved to the cloud. That's why you see, I'll show you that little cloud, I showed you that little cloud icon on there. So we'll actually back all the way up. I want to show you that little cloud icon. So if you look on here in the bottom right corner of all of these photos, there's a little cloud with a check mark on it. So that lets you know that it's been saved to the cloud. So it is accessible in the cloud already. But over here on my little icon, you can see I have the cloud with a little slash in it, meaning I've got it turned off right now. So I go in here, go back to my settings, and turn on backup and sync. You can see it tells me I have this much left. I have 14.85 of my 15 gigabytes left. The upload size is high quality, so the free unlimited storage. It says that right now they're changing their policies here in the next few months, but right now it is free unlimited storage. So you can go to town on storing photos until I think about, it's either January or June. one of those J months of 2021. So now that that is on, I can come back in here, and you can see all the little cloud icons are gone because I've got my cloud turned on. So everything is stored to the cloud. Sometimes if you have a lot of stuff going through, it's kind of fun to watch if they're older photos and you're resyncing them. You can watch all the little clouds and check marks move across. So once it's been added to the device or to Google Photos, you'll get a little check mark icon, and then once it's been added to the cloud, the little check mark icon goes away. So now you can see that all of these don't have that little cloud. They've been saved to the cloud. There's no alert. That's kind of what that is on the bottom right. It's an alert to let you know kind of where that photo exists, so you're not trying to find it elsewhere. And so with that, I'm going to show you how to get to Google Photos here. So I showed you the app a little bit. Now I'm actually in a browser. So I'm just on a Google browser. This is Safari. I'm on a Google homepage. I'm using the Safari browser on my iPad. And I am logged into my Google account, or to a Google account. So right here, so next to where my little icon is, there's a little grid. If I scroll down, Google Photos is right there. Now this little grid and its layout changes for everybody. Kind of depends on what you use most. So they are kind of different depending on what you use. So if you are heavy into Gmail and using Chrome and using Drive, those tend to be towards the top. And then other things that you use less often, it filters down as you go. So Google Photos is right here. It's the same icon style, that little primary color fan, and it says Photos. So if I tap on that, it's going to open up Google Photos. And you can see all of my photos are here. So all the ones that I was working on out in the Google Photos app are all here. I can do a lot of the same things with them. So if I want to go in here, come on, tapped on it. So I tapped on the photo. If I do that, all of my stuff's up here. The share icon is different. So instead of being the little box with the arrow, it's the little 3 dots connected with a line, but I have my edit option next to it. If I want to look at the information about the photo, sorry. There we go. We'll just use this photo for now. I accidentally slid across. I can favorite it. I can delete it. Dang it. Oh, we keep shifting because if I tap, it kind of shifts photos. And then we've got the 3 dots menu that lets you do some of the editing, but you can also download it. So if you are on a computer, you can download your photos. You can order prints. You can add to albums, and you can archive it from here. So you can do a lot of the same things. And you can see over here on the left-hand side, I have albums. So my Science and Toys albums did sync across. If I were to create an album while I'm using the browser version of Google Photos, as long as backup and sync is turned on, it will basically give it a moment and it will load into the app as well when I load it up next, as long as I have an internet connection. So that the backup and sync is reliant on having an internet connection. That's why I said you would need one. So to take the photos and to create the albums, you don't necessarily have to have that internet connection, but if you want to use backup and sync so that you have everything kind of across any devices that you want, that's where you need the internet connection. Come in here to utilities, that's where you can see that there's some kind of cool stuff. So I can add partner accounts. So that's quite literally if my boyfriend and I want to have a shared library of photos, that's what you can do there. And then here is where you can also start to create those animations, movies, and collages, and then order them and do what you will with them. You can also back up photos. So this right here, the import photos, where it says backup photos from your computer, is basically the browser version of your backup and sync. So, well, I hope that's kind of all I had to do, is kind of the quick introduction to Google Photos. But I hope that you guys learned a little bit about how to kind of get around, how to organize your photos, maybe take a little bit of the mysticism away from the cloud storage part of it. I didn't explain it super well, but just know that those photos are stored in the cloud on Google servers. So they're not necessarily literally above you. They are just in the cloud on a different computer, much larger and much more spacious computer than what you have. And for those things to go away, it would cause Google would have to be suffering a monster issue, a catastrophic issue, not just, oh darn, our servers are down. That just means you can't access it at that moment, but for them to literally go away would be a catastrophic failure of Google stuff, which is highly unlikely. So I hope you guys enjoyed this class. I hope you learned a little bit about Google Photos and feel a little bit more comfortable organizing your photos using it. If you like this video and you want to watch others like it, you can find us on YouTube. All of our older videos and any of our new premieres show up there. You can find us by searching for MCPL Mo. That will bring up the entire Mid-Continent Public Library channel, where we have several playlists, and you can kind of hunt down all of our videos or just watch by specific topics. You can also watch all of our new videos. We premiere a new video every Tuesday at 2, Wednesday at 1, and Friday at 1 here on the Facebook page. It is MCPL 360. We hope to see you again, and stay safe. Have a good week, everybody. Thank you.